Maybe take a couple of teaspoons per day in the morning after breakfast and see if this isn't the answer, because if it would just your hands, it could be an injury to your upper back. If it would just your feet and toes, it could be an injury to your sacrum. But since it's all of these, we have to look at the neurological issues, and that would be B12, that could be other B vitamins. So we need to get a bit of a horse dose in there and see if it'll just turn this right around for you, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go right back to the phones. Let's go to Virginia in Michigan, and she's concerned about one of her feet or more than one of her feet. Are you there, Virginia?
Yes, I'm here.
How old a woman are you, and how much do you weigh?
I'm 54 years old, and I weigh 157, and it's in both of my feet.
Both feet. Yucko.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what you're dealing with here is bone loss, and you're dealing with the calcium. Okay. Your body was engineered to go slightly acid as the day wears on. You are supposed to have a mineral reserve in the soft tissue, which allows you to withdraw that and buffer your blood. If you don't have the mineral reserve, it decomposes your bone. When it does, everything's fine. The immediate emergency is over until the next morning. Then the next morning, the body has a new emergency, and that is getting rid of this form of calcium that can't go back in the bone, can't be excreted, and so it's got to be stuck somewhere, your eye, your ear, your hand, your foot. Okay? So you've got the booby prize, and usually when it goes to your feet, it's bone that you're losing from your hips. So your job is going to be to get a roll of pH paper, fast as you can, and your goal is to get your first morning urine pH to look green. Now,
okay, I've already done that, and it was at 5.8.
I got you. Your acid. That's better than being 8. So now what you need is something to force that pH back up, such as pH Trio. Do you have that?
No, I don't.
Well, that's where I would go next. It'll give you D3. It'll give you aloe as the escort for coral. And you could start with a half teaspoon of coral. There'll be an instruction there. You test every 3 days. As long as that pH is moving toward the 6.470 zone, you just keep the same dose. If you notice you get up to 6.2 and you just can't get to 6.4, then you can increase the amount of coral. If that doesn't do it, then we're going to need support for the kidney or the parathyroid. So if you've got a lot of mixed metal restorations in your teeth, then it may be necessary to add some green tea, PG, maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons, and now see if the pH will go. That's support for the parathyroid. And if that's not enough, then we'll support kidney, but I suspect that'll be enough. And now what you should notice is you've got control of the pH. Okay, so now what do we do for your feet? To get rid of this junk, what we do for the feet is greatly increase betaine hydrochloride. At your age, you shouldn't be eating another cooked food meal without taking about 2 Quantum Digest at the start of the meal, and the end of the meal, you would take about 3 should be enough HCl. And now you're digesting the way you did as a 20-year-old. And you'll do that till the pH behaves itself and is green. And it stays green for a week or two. Then you're ready to maybe triple the HCl for about 3 to 5 weeks. And in that time period, you should see that your feet are just so happy.
Oh, wow, that would be great.
It works really good. This is a fairly easy problem. So jump all over it, and you call the order line. I made notes on everything I said so they can help you, okay?
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, this is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live. Don't miss today's great special. That's our quantum probiotic support. We were mentioning a little about how masterfully engineered it is. It's in a locust bean capsule, so it's harmless to you. It's not damaging enteric coated, but if you swallow it, it targets your large intestine, if that's what you need. And if you chew it, it's going to target the mouth through the small intestine. So it's kind of an ideal delivery system. Really, it won the Gold Medal Science Award back in the 90s in Japan. It's just such an innovative product. And, of course, it's fully live probiotics. These are not freeze-dried, so you may or may not come to life for you. It's an absolutely awesome probiotic. So today you can buy one, get the second one 50% off. That's 25% off each. Just give a buzz to our order line, 800-370-3447. 800-370-3447. Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Let's go to Bart in Chicago, and he'd like to know what foods you recommend for healthy blood pressure. Are you there, Bart?
Yes, I am. And how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much for asking.
Okay.
What I would say here is, I have spent my whole life studying this, and I feel like only in the last 4 or 5 years do I know anything worthwhile. And what it is that there are 3 gorillas in everybody's kitchen. First one's white sugar and white flour.
I know it.
Okay? And he's not invisible. He's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the second one that most everybody misses, white flour, white sugar, number 1 and 2. The other one is oils. And I've missed that for a long time. We've had refined oil since before the days of Jesus. And all of us consume way more oil than our liver and gallbladder can handle. So by age 40 or so, we're in trouble with the liver and gallbladder. And the single thing that I see that promotes overall health for the body is to shift gears and go on a 60 to 90-day refined oil-free diet. So let me make sure you understand what that means. That means no canola oil, no fish oil, no coconut oil, no olive oil, no oil of any kind added to your food. And we would do this for 60 to 90 days. Are we going to do this forever? No. But we're going to do it strictly for 60 to 90 days to give a chance to really clean house for the liver, the gallbladder, the circulatory tree, everything. Okay? And now, during that time period, the only oil you would take would be microalgae, DHA, 5 or 10 capsules per day at your main protein meal. And the only other oils would be those that occur naturally in a food, like an avocado. And so if this were for you and you're 180 or so, you could have a whole avocado, maybe half a dose twice a day.
170. And,
yeah, that should be okay. Then what about nuts and seeds? There would be no nuts or seeds except English walnuts, which are rich in omega-3 more than omega-6. In fact, they are the only nut that has more omega-3 than omega-6. And my favorite, pistachio, is 251 times more omega-6 and omega-3. So you can see if you load up on the nuts, you're going to get really whacked out on the oils again, okay?
So the only nut would be the
English walnut, about 2 ounces a week.
Oh, okay.
Not much, okay? And I think what you will see as you do this, now, unfortunately, when we talk about blood pressure, there can also be issues with failed digestion. How old a man are you?
60.
Yeah, see, so by 45, 50, you can't produce enough hydrochloric acid to digest your food. So any bugs in the food get carte blanche to the circulatory tree, the heart, the kidney, or the pancreas. So now I would also recommend you get on something called Cardio PG, and at your body weight and your age, probably about 4 teaspoons, and you would use that for 4 months. Okay? And that should, now, of course, to make sure you never need to use it again, you would take betaine hydrochloride, probably about 4 at the end of the meal, and you would take 2 Quantum Digest at the start of the meal. Okay? And now you digest more like you did as a 20-year-old. No worries then.
Sounds good.
Okay? So these are kind of things we've got to learn to do so we don't end up having to do this over again, okay?
All right. And the cardio PG, is you're only taking it for 4 months.
Yes.
After that,
Yep.
you, you would take it again. Maybe.
No, you wouldn't ever need it again as long as you don't run out of HCl or digest.
Oh, okay.
So you make yourself a deal that you never eat a cooked food meal without HCl and digest, and let's say you run out. Fine. You don't eat. It's no problem. It'll be very good for you to have a little fast.
Right, or you'll just eat something more like a fruit or vegetable.
You'll eat something that's completely raw, and you peeled it, so there's no risk of bacterial contamination from anybody else. Okay?
Yeah, all right.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Out of time, you guys. Don't miss the great special today, Probiotic. Give a buzz to our order line, 800-370-3447. God bless you all. Stay great and healthy. Bye now.
You've been listening to Dr. Bob Marshall, Ph.D. on Healthline Live. To find out more about these specials or any of our great products, call 1-800-370-3447. That's 1-800-370-3447. Dr. Marshall's comments have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Have a healthy and radiant day.
Do you have a great idea for a radio show but have no idea where to start? Or have you been hosting a podcast for a while and want to take it to the next level? If so, you need the Gab Radio Network. To host a show on the Gab Radio Network, all you need is your voice, and we'll handle the rest. From technical engineering to full-service audio production and much more. Every show on the Gab Radio Network can be heard on our station on the TuneIn Radio app. Plus, we put all of our shows on our satellite, which is accessed by over 5,500 stations. And here's the best part. You can host from anywhere you want. There are many means to connect to the Gab Radio Network remotely, and our staff of highly trained engineers and producers will make you sound like you're right here in studio. So, if you want to be on the Gab Radio Network, the same network that hosts the Small Business Advocate, Radio MD, and The Federalist, send an email right now to sales